officially in holiday season, which also means that it is travel season for many of us. Now, I used to get really stressed about packing my makeup for travel. I'm a notorious overpacker, and at one point my travel makeup bag was just way too overwhelming, not only with products that I was packing with me, because I would just throw in anything I think I might want to wear, but also with tools and brushes. That's really what would make my makeup bag bulky, and what finally helped me streamline my travel makeup routine, which I'm gonna be sharing with you today, is I stopped packing brushes. Now, about 9 times out of 10, my travel makeup routine consists of products that I can apply with a sponge or my fingers. So that is what I'm gonna be sharing with you today. But first, if you're new here, hi, my name is Miranda. Welcome to my channel where we talk all things budget beauty. If that sounds interesting to you, then become the newest member of the Slashed Squad by hitting subscribe and the bell icon. So today I'm gonna do a little bit of a light glam look that one might wear to a holiday party. And I'm starting out with my e.l.f. Whoa Glow Sunscreen Primer. Now, obviously, because we are using our fingers a lot in this routine, wash your hands. It is also helpful to keep makeup wipes near you. I usually don't use makeup wipes on my face, but I do use them in my travel routine a lot to wipe off my hands or my tools. These are the Real Techniques XL removing wipes, and they're huge. Now, before I go into foundation, I'm going to conceal my under eyes, or more like color correct. This is the Milani Under Eye Brightener in Melon, and this is just gonna help brighten up those dark circles, the little bit of purpleness I have under my eyes. Now, I'll admit sponge applicators like this, I really don't like them, but they can be a little bit helpful for this type of routine. I just feel like they get so gunky really quickly. So I am gonna tap that under my eye. And here we have our first finger application, just using the ring finger. I'm going to tap that where I feel I need it most, which is this inner corner under my eye and outer corner. This plus the Radiant Primer really helps brighten up this area. Like, hello, I just got 3 more hours of sleep. For my foundation, I do like to use the L'Oreal True Match foundation for this type of routine. One, because the coverage is so great, but also because it is very blendable. Not only the foundation itself, but I feel like other products blend into this extremely well. My shade is N3. It's like my perfect shade. Now let's talk about your sponge choice, because that is so important for this type of routine where this is gonna be doing all of the heavy lifting. You want a very airy and bouncy soft sponge. You don't want it to be too dense. When it's damp, you want it to be so malleable. This is the Pawpaw blender from AOA Studio on shopmissa.com. It is overall my favorite blender, and they are so affordable. Now, I recently got a comment pointing out how a lot of the times I'm not using concealer underneath my foundation, and that is because I find that a lot of my foundations just cover most of what I want. But depending on what you're traveling for, you might want to have a little extra coverage. Maybe it's an event that you're gonna be photographed for. Maybe you're doing family portraits. Maybe it's a wedding. So in that case, you could use some concealer and tap it on with your finger. I'll just go in with a little bit more foundation, and I layer it in a thin layer right on top where I just applied, but I'm not quite blending it in. I'm just applying it right over where I want more coverage, and I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit. This also allows you to just pack one less product. I find that this works fine for me, this technique. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit for just a second. It's been a couple minutes. I have let this foundation sit a bit, and now I'm just gonna lightly tap at it. I'm not trying to spread it. Just wanna blend it right where it is. And that's given me just enough coverage where I don't need concealer. For my brows, I'm gonna use a brow pencil. This is super easy because no brush is needed. This is the Revlon Colorstay Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Soft Black. Then we gotta lock the brows in place using my favorite Physicians Formula Brow Gel. The full name of it is the Butter Brazilian Brow Lift Brow Gel. Every day, I am convinced that that name was some kind of inside joke, because why is it so extra? Now, if you watch my videos regularly, you know that normally I would move on to my eyes next, but because of this routine and the fact that we are only using a sponge, I do want to go in and finish my face makeup before my foundation fully sets. It's just been sitting for a little bit now that we have my brows on. So in my no brush travel makeup routine, my next step here is a liquid contour. So this is the Face Sculpt liquid contour from Moira. Definitely my preferred contour for this routine because it has such a thin formula. So it's extremely easy to blend out. So I'm just dotting that along where I'm gonna contour. I'm gonna squeeze my sponge a bit so we have a little bit narrower of a shape, and that's how I'm gonna go in and blend. And again, because this sponge is so soft, it's gonna blend it out really, really easily without needing a lot of pressure. I just feel like a lot of the liquid contours at the drugstore have such a thick formula that makes it harder to blend, especially with just a sponge, and harder to really melt into your other makeup. This, I think, is just the perfect liquid contour formula. I feel like a lot of the liquid contours at the drugstore are actually cream contours in a tube. That's my official opinion. Now, this is obviously on the sheerer side. I'm not going for like a crazy bold contour, but it is buildable. Also, I'm using the shade 200 Soft Warm. I'm pretty sure this is like under $7 if you use my code, which is /beauty. I'm gonna kind of bring that up into the temples as well. And then I'm gonna bring some up into my hairline as well. And then for my nose, I am gonna use my fingers, and I'm just gonna do this extremely lightly. Just a little bit of a drag and then patting. Perfect, let's move on to blush. Now I've mentioned that I bring these traveling with me a lot. These are the ColourPop blush sticks. I bring the blush sticks, the bronze sticks, and the light sticks with me a lot for this type of routine, but I am gonna try to like switch it up and give you more brand options here. But yeah, this is definitely my go-to in my travel makeup bag. This is the shade Invite Only. It is a little bit of a medium deep rose. And with this, it may be tempting to just swipe it on your face, but don't do that. I'm going to warm up the formula by tapping my finger and swirling it on top. And then I'm gonna use my finger to apply and blend it out. So first I'm gonna just start tapping it on, kind of gauge how much color's coming off. And then I am slowly blending and spreading that color in a circle. And then if you feel like, okay, you've got enough color in terms of the level of pigment, then take a clean finger and start using that to blend. So that way you're not adding more product. So I just kind of go back and forth with the finger that I have the product on and a clean finger, or like my blending finger. Really happy with that color payoff. Love this shade. Wiping off my finger because now we're going in with finger application of my liquid highlight. And you may be noticing, yes, I am using mostly creams and liquids for this routine because they do really well when you apply them with your fingers. When it comes to powder formulas, applying with your fingers, not really recommended. You can get away with it to an extent with your eyes, but with your face, it's a lot harder. So with that said, I am going in with the Milani liquid highlighter in Lunar. And even though this is a sponge applicator, again, like that under eye one, this one I am just going to put on my finger first and tap it on. And same technique where I'm putting down the pigment with one finger and then kind of going in and tapping around with a clean finger that doesn't have product on it so I can really control how much I'm putting down. So let's do the eyes. So I do want to use a primer using my Milani one, my good old faithful. Now for the eyes, I'm gonna do a technique that I've shown a lot. I wear this a lot, and it's only 2 shades. So first I'm starting out with a cream shadow. This is the Moira Everlast Shimmer Cream Shadow, I think it's called. These long product names, I can never remember them. Oh, Everlust Shimmer Cream Shadow. I was close. And this is in the shade Mocha Bronze. So I am starting out with kind of a darker shade. So that is Mocha Bronze. So I'm concentrating that color on the lid, and then I'm gonna start pulling and tapping in an upward motion, just very lightly to get a blend going. And again, I'll switch to my clean finger when I don't necessarily want to spread the color and I just want to diffuse the border and kind of flare it out at the outer corner. So this was just one layer, very light-handed so that I could blend it out and kind of diffuse that edge. And I'm gonna go back in with just a bit more product on my finger and darken up the lid. This one I'm not gonna bring so much in my crease because I don't wanna mess up the blend I've got going on, but just want a little bit more color there. Wipe off the finger. Now I'm gonna go in with a powder shadow to contrast this, give it a little bit more dimension. I'm using the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Flower Child, which is a golden champagne. And this is a powder formula, though if you're familiar with the Super Shock shadows, they do have like this very silky, almost creamy feel to them. And with this, I'm going to pat right at the center of my lid. So really concentrating the color just right there. I'm going to pat at the edges and slightly drag toward the inner and outer corner just to blend that out a bit so it's not so stark. It's not just like a spot. And just like the rest of this routine, kind of going back and forth between the finger that has product and a clean finger. And then we've got this beautiful, effortless halo eye. And that just adds that little bit of glitz, little bit of dimension that really makes this look put together. Now I want to highlight my brow bone, but I don't want it to be sparkly like the shade we just put on. So I'm gonna go back into that liquid highlight that I used on my face. And I'm gonna strategically put that like on the edge of my pinky and drag that right under my brow. So then we've got that glow going on, but it's not like a shimmery gold shade. And then I'm just gonna tap really lightly in my inner corners. I'm gonna use the Wet n Wild Marilyn Monroe liner that I shared in my last video. This just has such a beautiful brush tip that is so precise. And famous last words, but I'm not trying to do a dramatic wing. I just want just a little kitten flick. Perfect, exactly what I was going for. But can we do it on the other eye? This is always the question. Why do I put I'm like literally like this. I need the mirror so close to me. Maybe I need a handheld mirror that's magnified a bit because all of my handhelds are just like normal mirror. I think I need a magnified mirror. That's pretty even to me. Perfect. Dang. I swear this is one of the best liquid eyeliners that I've used, and I'm really bummed that it's probably a limited edition product. And I don't know why, but I feel like the brush is different than Wet n Wild's Breakup Proof liner. Whatever they did here, they need to do it and make it permanent. Let's curl the lashes. Now, whether I travel with falsies really just depends on the occasion, really. Like if it's a wedding, I'm gonna pack falsies. For a holiday party, just depends on my mood. But I do not travel with strip lashes and glue anymore. I only travel with these press-on falsies. I do have a whole video reviewing these. I wore them for over 24 hours, and spoiler alert, they hung on, and they are so easy to press into your lashes, no glue needed. So even though this is kind of like a bulky package, it's still less products and less hassle. So before I go in with these falsies though, I will put down just a thin coat of mascara. I will use the Wet n Wild Big Poppa. With these clusters, I really do focus on placing them in the outer corner. So I still want to get a good coat of mascara through the inner corner and mid section. Today I'm using the Voluminous Kiss Impress lashes. I'm gonna start by taking one from the bottom row, which is the longer cluster. And that one's going in this outermost corner of my eye, and press them in to your natural lashes. I've worn these sleeping. I've worn these to a wedding where I was ready at like 1 p.m. wearing them all the way through 11 p.m. They were hanging in there. They were looking great. No drooping at all, no peeling off. I've worn these working out. I trust these, y'all. So that's just one in the corner applied. Now I'm gonna take another one, but from the top row. That's how easy these press-on lashes are. What was that, like 30 seconds? And for me, I feel like 2 is enough to get the look that I want. When I put on 3, it starts looking a little bulky and less flared, which is what I like. And there we go. Now let me do my other eye really quickly. Now the brand doesn't recommend that you reuse these, but I have if I'm just really careful about removing them and if I'm not wearing a lot of other eye makeup with them so that they don't come off with makeup on them. I've gotten like 2 to 3 uses out of my clusters before I'm like, okay, I'm gonna throw these away. Because every time you take them off, they do get a little bit less sticky. Time to finish the look with the lips. Now, I was very tempted to do a holiday red, but considering I did that in my last video with the Marilyn Monroe makeup collection, I think I wanna go for a more brown, mocha, glossy lip today. I'm gonna use the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in BFF2. Once I have that lined up, I am gonna fill in the entire lip, and I'm gonna top this off with the Milani Fruit Fetish Lip Oil. This is in the shade Blackberry Agave. Oh my God, this smells so good. And here's the finished travel-friendly, no brush makeup look. Now let's talk about setting this makeup, which I probably should have done before I changed. I do prefer using a setting spray. I have combo skin that does lean a bit drier in the winter, a little bit more oily in summer, but this spray, which is the Wet n Wild Natural Finish Setting Spray, does work well for me when using creams, when using this type of routine in the summer as well. If you feel like you are way too oily to be using these creams and liquids together without setting with powder, then just bring a powder puff. You don't have to bring a powder brush. That'll still fit really nicely in a travel makeup bag without taking up more space. But like I mentioned, I just prefer the finish of a setting spray. I love this look, and really the eyes specifically, like the shades we used, are pretty year-round. You can swap out the lip to be more spring or summer if that's when you're doing your traveling. There is nothing about this look that I feel is missing compared to if I were to recreate it at home using brushes. So I am officially challenging you to leave your brushes at home next time you travel and see how well you do. But maybe practice at home first while watching this video. Today's shout out goes to Victoria. Thanks for being a member of the Slashed Squad. And join me over in this video next where I try the new Wet n Wild Marilyn Monroe makeup collection. I'll see you over there. Bye!